Pinocchio Part 2. Pinocchio traveled with the cat and fox a very long way. Unable to see anything on account of the blindfold they had placed over his eyes. Finally, the cat removed the blindfold and Pinocchio found himself in a solitary field in the canal nearby. Now stoop down and dig a little hole in the ground and put your gold pieces into it, said the cat. Pinocchio did as the cat had said, and filled the hole with little earth. Now then, said the cat, go to the canal and fetch a can of water, and come back and water the ground where you have sowed your seeds. Coins. Pinocchio went to the canal. As he had no can, he took off one of his shoes and, filling it with water, he watered the ground over the hole. Is there anything else to be done? He asked. Nothing else, answered the cat. We can now go away. Return in 20 minutes, and you will find a shrub already pushing through the ground, its branches loaded with money. A poor puppet, beside himself with joy, set out on one road, leading himself from the field, while the cat and fox took another. The road led Pinocchio to a nearby town. The streets were crowded with dogs yawning from hunger, shorn sheep trembling with cold, roosters without combs, and peacocks with no tails, where they had sold them. Through his crowd of beggars and shamefaced creatures, a lorry carriage passed from time to time. Pinocchio walked along and counted the minutes one by one. Soon, very soon, I will be rich and buy myself a carriage, and rattle wretched creatures around him. When he thought that it finally must be time, Pinocchio hurried back to the Field of Wonders. He went right up to a little hole where he had buried his coins. There was no tree, not even a shrub. Becoming very thoughtful, he took his hands out of his pockets and gave his head a long scratch. An explosion of laughter burst out above him. Pinocchio looked up to see a parrot. What are you laughing at? He demanded. I'm laughing at those simpletons who believe in all foolish things that are told them and are entrapped by those who were more cunning than they. Are you perhaps speaking of me? Yes, poor Pinocchio, replied the parrot. You must know then that while you were in town, the fox and cat returned to the field, took the buried money, and fled like the wind. At these words, Pinocchio began with his hands and nails to dig up the earth that he had watered. But the money was no longer there. He rushed back to town in a state of desperation, but no one there could help him. He could hardly forget how the erosion puppet had behaved not an hour before. Poor Pinocchio wandered the streets, growing hungrier and even more desperate. At last he came upon a woman with indigo hair, carrying 2 cans of water. May I have some? He asked. Drink, my boy, said the little woman. Pinocchio drank like a fish. Now, if I could only appease my hunger, he said. If you help me carry home these 2 cans of water, I will give you a fine piece of bread, the woman said. Pinocchio looked at the cans and did not answer. He was not accustomed to doing work of any kind. You shall also have a nice dish of cauliflower dressed with oil and vinegar, he said. Again, Pinocchio looked at the heavy cans. And after that, I'll give you a beautiful bonbon full of syrup, the woman added. At the mention of his last dainty, Pinocchio would resist no longer. With an air of decision, he said, I will carry the cans to your house. And reached the house, and the little woman sat Pinocchio down at a table ready laid. He placed before him the bread, the cauliflower, and the bonbon. When Pinocchio had finally filled his empty stomach, the woman asked where he was headed. "To see my father," Pinocchio cried, and he told her all about good Geppetto. "How did you come to be so far from your father, and in such a desperate state?" asked the woman. "I have no idea where I am, but I can relay to you how I got here," Pinocchio said, and he told her of Fire Eater, its arduous journey with the fox and the cat, and its abandonment in the field of wonders. "What of the gold pieces?" one asked. "Well, they ended up. I want you to call him a simpleton, as the fairy has done." Pinocchio patted his pocket and said, "Right here." His nose grew 2 fingers longer, for he was telling a lie. One asked, "Why didn't you use the coins to buy food? You had them in your pocket." "I wasn't hungry," Pinocchio said. His nose grew another 2 fingers. "Not at first," he amended. At this, his nose grew to such a length that the poor puppet could hardly move in any direction. A woman with indigo hair looked at him and laughed. He was no more and no less than a beautiful fairy. For more than 1,000 years she had lived in the surrounding wood. "There are lies that have short legs and lies that have long nose," he said. "Your lie, Pinocchio, is one that has a long nose." Pinocchio began to mew and moan. The fairy let him cry, but only for a while. She beat her hands together in 1,000 woodpeckers. That flew in that window. She immediately perched on Pinocchio's enormous, ridiculous nose and pecked at it with such a zeal that in a few minutes it has reduced to its usual dimensions. "Now," said the blue fairy, "if you promise to tell father every bit of truth, I'll take you home." "Oh, would you?" said Pinocchio. "Oh, what a good fairy you are. And you are a good boy when you put your mind to it." "Would that it were true," said Pinocchio, looking at the shoes Geppetto had made him. "I really am not a boy at all." The blue fairy showed Pinocchio the way home. Only when the puppet opened a door in Spain the sight of Geppetto's smiling face. There was no one at all inside. Seized in a grim suspicion, Pinocchio ran the yard out back. There he found a marble stone which were engraved sad words, which the blue fairy read aloud. "Here lies old Geppetto, who round a sea, looking for his lost son Pinocchio." Upon hearing his autograph, Pinocchio fell on his face on the ground, covering a tombstone with 1,000 kisses. He burst into agony of tears. He cried all night, and when morning came, he climbed to his bed still crying, although he had no tears left. "Oh, Papa," he wailed, "why did I not die instead of you? I who am so weak wished you were so good." Blue Fairy had stood by all night. He spoke. "Dear Pinocchio, I cannot bring your father back, but if you be a good little puppet, I promise that you will become a real boy. Only you must obey me and do everything I bid you." Willingly, willingly," Pinocchio sniffed. "I'm tired of being puppet. It has brought me nothing but sorrow." "Good. Now dry your eyes, for tomorrow you will begin school." Bye.